Before the run starts, I just need to give an editor's warning. This video is my first time ever making a video like this, so the audio isn't going to be the greatest as I don't really speak the clearest through a lot of stuff, so there will be a lot of cuts in it as I had to do with a bunch of little clips instead of one long clip. Eventually, I will get better over time, but just remember this is my first time making a video. I have never edited or done something like this before. Over time, I hopefully will get better. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Skyrim. The game where you make a character, run around an open world, and shout at goats. There is other stuff like fighting, but let's be honest. Combat is bland. 99% of the weapons you find are useless because the weapon you'll have will do more damage because of enchantments or smithing. But what if they weren't? What if every weapon you saw was useful? What if you had to use every weapon that you killed? Well, not the weapon themselves, the thing that you killed, but you know what I mean. Today I'll just be attempting to beat Skyrim, but if it does add breakable weapons, like from Breath of the Wild, let's not waste any time and get right into this run. You already know the opening, so let's skip it and get right into character creation. I'm spending a minute thinking of my race, and I'm going with Wood Elf because I could look the most like a Link. The racial ability doesn't really matter as I won't be using abilities or powers in general since enemies don't use them. After changing the face a bit more, name him blank and we're about to be executed. Our heads are laid down on a chopping block, but a dragon attacks the village all of a sudden. We stand up fast and get dizzy until we are able to move. It's just a quick run through Helgen and we are inside the walls with Hadbar. Here is where I pick up my first weapon. This will not be the first time picking up a weapon this run, of course. Make sure to also grab some armor and gold. Luckily, armor doesn't break, so no having to swap that out. This run would have been so much harder if I had to swap out armor. Once everything is done, me and Hadbar walk through the dungeon together as I get a feel for how this run will go. I'll have to pause in to open menus, but at least I can equip the weapon from the enemy. Now that we escape the dragon and Helgen, we see our fly off towards Whiterun. Why walk the Riverwood? Let's explain the rules. One rule, of course, has no exploits or glitches, as that would ruin the challenge, except for later on. I give myself 10,000 carry later on because Link in Breath of the Wild has unlimited food and items in his game. Wait, how did it even get here? Hyrule it's like a different world. Must have been the wind. Second rule is every enemy I must kill, I must use what they used on me. So if I have an iron sword and bonk an enemy on the head and kills them, I take the weapon and do the same to another enemy. If for some reason I'm not able to use whatever they use on me, like dragons, I'll use whatever comes closest, hoping that we don't get a weak dagger against a strong enemy. That will be rough. Shouts are allowed outside of combat, but they are allowed inside of combat if the enemy I killed used a shout, like those kinds of Draugr. I forget what they're not restless. But the restless probably will give us some trouble later on in the run. Survival mode will also be turned on later, because I forgot Breath of the Wild had climate system, like survival mode has. So later on, you'll see it and just go along with it. Just trying to make this run as authentic as it can, because why not? The more authentic, the more fun it is for you guys to watch. Before arriving in Riverwood, stopped at the Standing Stones and went with the Warrior Stone, as swords would be the more common weapon used this run. Spells and bows aren't going to be the most common. The only wizards I can think that will have to fight is going to be during the Thalmor quest, but that's later on. So let's just head to Riverwood. Once I do get there, I grab our little cabbages from the cart, but since it's Skyrim, it wouldn't let me take them all. That was annoying as food is going to be extremely necessary this run since Link doesn't drink any health potions. I did give myself a lot of health potions later on for when food wasn't giving health, but not really sure why this was happening. Maybe because of survival mode. If you understand though, please let me know in the comments. It was really bothering me. To get some more food though, I stop at the inn and buy some. Now, time to head to Whiterun. It's a pretty simple trip there. Just walk there, grab some food on the outside of the city, arrive at the gate, and a guard stops me. I already had to dress up as a woman and enter Gerudo Town. Was hoping I didn't have to do that again, but luckily, after just mentioning the dragon attack, he opened the gates for me to enter. To which I spent right up to the Cloud District to warn the Jarl. I told him about the dragon attack and kept talking, but he yelled at me. As punishment, he's making me do a job for his court wizard by running to an old ruin to find a stone which may not be there. But the thing is, Why doesn't the wizard just come with me? Like, sitting here all day won't do anything because they cold corn dog. Anyways, after having a mental argument with myself over a stone, I head to the mountain, kill a few bandits to get started with the dungeon. With my amazing skills in this game, the bandits go down pretty easy until the large spider comes up. It's no matter the run that I do, it always gives me trouble. Except for this one for some reason. I don't know what it was. It just went down super easily and just kept missing its attack. Well, probably because I shoved my face full of potatoes, but little did I know that this thing would literally kill me so much later on in this dungeon. Now that the spider is dead, I can get the claw. I get the dude down from the web and he starts running away. I start chasing him and putting him to sleep for a very long time, with this really cool animation I've never seen in over 300 hours. Probably because I've only used like 1 hour of fist, but it literally doesn't matter since I ended up dying to a Draugr like 10 seconds later. This repeated a couple times until I was able to get to the puzzle door. If anyone has played this game more than once, you already know the code, to which it is entered and I arrived to the first word later on, Foos. After learning it, the main problem happened. Remember the issue about the food with the spider? Well, because I ate so much of it, I have very little health for 80% in this fight. This was going to be rough. It felt impossible to try to beat this. I ran away, hid, tried to do parkour, but nothing seemed to work. Beating Gale hitless in Dark Souls 3 just felt harder. This felt almost impossible. So I decided to load an old save to see if I could get more health. It didn't help, because now his shout did enough damage to one-shot me. It wasn't even Foos rolled up. Literally just Foos was enough to kill me. I needed a plan. Luckily, I found one. Stairs. Yeah, stairs are what saved me. How? Because hiding at the top of them, the AI would break on the Draugr and I could regenerate stamina to do charge attacks on him. So literally just had to run up there, recharge my stamina, run down, charge attack, run back up, and repeat. If we got near close, I would literally just jump off and run around till we got close by. Still died many times doing this, but ended up beating him and grabbing a stone right off of him. Stepped outside and remembered I'm in survival, so fast travel is disabled. Now walking everywhere and using a cart was a must, but it wasn't so bad. What? Bad. I am literally so bad at this. Well, I ended up coming across a shop and grabbing supplies. Think the person there was a witch, not too sure. She didn't turn me into a newt or anything, but she probably weighed the same as a duck. Maybe I should check next game. Well, after that, I run back to Whiterun and tell the wizard about the stone I got. He thanks me, but as he is thanking me, a person comes over and warns of a dragon attack at a nearby base. So now he wants us to help with this dragon. The Jarl does, and the wizard, and I'm like, oh yes, I've seen stuff like this on YouTube. I know how to fly a plane now. I don't understand why people's logic is around here. Had to run outside to the farms, made sure I got all the food for this fight. This is going to be rough. Well, then I remembered something. Riften. What about Riften? Riften has one thing there. Fish barrels. Fish barrels have two very important things. Well, fish. And salt piles. Salt piles are a must in survival mode since salt is very, very strong for cooking, since you can make so many strong dishes. So I just pretty much do that. Get all the salt I can, make a couple dishes, and get ready for the dragon fight. It goes really well, honestly, since the dragoness focuses on everyone else. Once it was dead, everyone starts calling me a dragonborn and tells me to tell the Jarl about the victory. Before entering the city, this happens. Not really sure what that was until I ended up talking to the Jarl, which he mentioned that they are the masters of the voice known as the Greybeards. They're trying to summon me up the high Hrothgar. How do you even say this? It's like trying to say Worcestershire. Don't get me started on that. Well, don't want to get arrested again, so let's just head up the mountain. I end up going up there pretty easily until I get to the troll. So I just ran around it by the side of the mountain because I don't want to be fighting it. Just imagine though if dying in this game was canon. Here lies a dragonborn. He killed a dragon but died to a troll. And below it is a comment from the troll that just says, "Get wrecked." Luckily it isn't, so I make it up to High Hrothgar, which is like a castle, pretty easily, besides that. And inside there's a bunch of old men talk to me about being dragonborn and taught me the second word to Unrelenting Force, row. They take me outside to learn another shout too, and out here I have to do something that every Skyrim player will do. That never gets old, it's always hilarious. Except to the graybeards, they didn't like that. Now I had to go get a horn from a dungeon for them. Wow, people here are lazy. I have to do work for the Jarl 3 times in a couple hours, and now they want me to do more work for them. Can't everyone just get off their butts and do something? Like you have a civil war going on. If you're just having people do stuff for you, you ain't gonna get much better. Well, after another small rant, I head down the mountain and head to Whiterun to get some supplies. When I get there, I get attacked by some cultists. Looks like some other clan. I only have to deal with the Yoga clan in Hyrule. Yes, I know it's Yiga, but I say Yoga. Get over it. Well, luckily they aren't as annoying as Yoga clan. Just glad there aren't any bananas, or Skyrim would be even more trouble. They go down pretty easily and had a note on them for me to be killed by some other dude. For being Dragonborn or something, not really sure why. That will have to be checked out later, but not right now. The dragons are more important. Before I head to the dungeon, I stopped at the end to rest. In survival mode, this is an issue. Because in survival mode, your magicka total is determined by how much you rest. So if you level up a lot on accident and you rest, you will be taking so many points which can overlevel you, which is a major problem this run. Since most of my points are just going into stuff like one-handed, two-handed archery, and spells, it's definitely a problem. Since I'm not really gaining a ton of power, the enemy scaling is going to get out of hand in the endgame, which is definitely going to be a problem since my weapons aren't going to be getting any stronger, just by 20%, while their health is going to be raised a ton. So it's not going to go well easily, and I have to rest since I'm in survival mode. Let's just hope I don't ever level up too much by the end of this run, or we're going to have some major problems. I end up going inside the dungeon, and it honestly goes pretty well. Not really sure why. Well, let's not complain about that. Let's grab the horn and oh wait, the horn isn't here. I'm not really sure how the horn is gone. I needed a shout to get in here. Well, let's just get to the end where it says I need to and find out what's going on. After arriving in the Riverwood Tavern, I asked for the attic room. Turns out they didn't have one, so they just gave me one random room. Turns out though this was always set up by the one worker, Dolphin. She was the one who went in the dungeon, took the horn, and placed a note there. She heard the rumor that I was a Dragonborn and wanted to speak to me. She said she knows of a reason on why dragons are coming back and took me down to the secret basement she has in her room. She explains to me there that she is a member of the Blades, a group of people who were sworn to protect the Emperor. Well, that didn't go well, but after the Oblivion Crisis, they all disappeared somehow. So now they need help again. She knows how dragons are coming back. They're not gone. They were dead. And they're being resurrected somehow. And she knows where the next one is going to be. So we ended up heading there together. It was a pretty easy trek there, and on the way there I see a tavern. Oh boy, you know what I'm gonna do. Ah, that's better. Let's kill the dragon. It's just right up the hill. And as I start to climb it, I see Alduin reviving the dragon. Not gonna wait around, so I just start attacking the dragon as it rises in O. That's a lot of HP. Even though Dolphin is here, it's only one other person, like unlike the battle at the tower. For some unknown reason, the dragon barely focuses on me, and it was able to go down pretty easily. I did have to eat a lot of food, so luckily that tavern was right down the road. After it's dead, she sees me absorbing the soul of the dragon, and now knows 100% that I am the Dragonborn. She begins to explain that she might know who's connected to the dragons, the Thalmor, a group of high elves who are kind of like rich people. No one loves them. Everyone hates them. We need time to think of a plan, so we meet back in Riverwood, and a plan is formed in like 10 seconds. I am going to sneak in a party they have around Solitude. Inside there, I'll see if I can scavenge for any info. This is totally a 100% foolproof plan that has no possibility of failing, right? Well, there's only one way to find out, so I take a cart to Solitude, give the dude my armor who I was supposed to meet up with, and some food. I have to wear these to get past the guards, and then, wow, this party is boring. It's like nobody here. No music, but hey, free food. Not gonna pass this up. I talk to the friend, let's just call him Joe. He begins to explain to me that I can't get past unless I cause a distraction, which wasn't hard. Turns out the one guest has a crush on another, and he wants me to speak to her. She does not like him though, so I tell him she likes him, and it has caused a distraction, and it is able for me to escape. Once I escape, I go through the kitchen, take the food, and get myself from the chest. I walk through everything else and find my first Stalmore. These dudes take a beating. They do not go down easy, and what's rough is that they run lightning magic. With lightning magic, if you don't know, lightning magic takes away from magicka of whatever's being hit. Well, once I kill one of them, I'm going to be having using magic. So now I want to be having to fight with lightning while they're constantly taking away my magicka. This is going to be really rough. It takes a long time and they end up going down. I grab the notes and run through. After a little bit of running, I end up in a jail room. Inside, I release the prisoners, we kill the guard, and get the key to leave. Honestly, that went a little bit easier than expected, but it was still extremely rough. Time to head back to Dolphin so we can stop these dragons. Take a cart to Whiterun from the city and talk to her. Once back at the tavern, I give her the books, and turns out they are not connected to the dragons. But all hope is not lost. She mentions that in the book, she finds out her old friend is still alive, living in Riften sewers. He understands what is going on, and I will immediately head off there. But first, I stop at Whiterun and get an idea. Don't tell anyone I cheated. Let's head to Riften. Since I've been there before, I enter through the main gate and go right to the sewers. Along the way, I kill some lowlights, pass through the Thieves Guild, and kill some Thalmor to find his door. I explain I am working with dolphins to stalk the dragons. He quickly lets me in. Yeah. By quickly, I mean he opens like 100 locks. Just watch what I have to sit through.
Come here. Come over here. Please. Pretty please.
Yeah, that feels like it takes forever. Once it's open, though, I take all this food and we get ambushed by more Thalmor. Now, earlier remember how I said that Thalmor bad? Let me go more detail. The spell they're using is Sparks. It does 8 damage a second for 19 magicka for us. Right now, though, I only have 120 magicka, 145 with the Novice Hood. That is 7 seconds of casting it for only 54 damage. Even with the help of the old man, it will not be feasible, because they will constantly be taking away my magical, slowing me down. So instead of fighting, I had an idea. I ran to the main room of the Thieves Guild, and turns out that the Thieves Guild only help you if you join them earlier. I am gonna have to do that next time I do a run. Helpful to know. Food is running low though, and have to hide. Hit and run was the only option. Felt like 10 minutes, but it only took like 3. Time just feels slow when you do so little damage. Well, now, just gotta join the Thieves Guild on other runs, cause honestly that could save me. Now I'm just gonna take the old man to meet Dolphin. Once Dolphin and Old Man meet up, they just talk about stuff. While they're talking, I literally just goof off inside the locker because who cares what they're saying? I'm just gonna keep calling him Old Man. I'm just calling him Old Man not because I forgot his name. Yeah, let's go with that. They tell me I need to travel to this dungeon outside of Markoth. Markoth? What is it? I don't really know. I played too much Hollow Knight. Anything that reminds me of that awful fight though in Hollow Knight just deserves to get ignored. Just gonna run to the temple, forget about it. And like every other run, a dragon attacks outside, but I just completely ignore it and run inside. Solve the puzzles, and then get to a dead end. Old Man explains that the door opens with blood, but not any blood. the blood of a dragon. Since I'm part dragonborn, I cut my hand. Not really sure why it did it there. If my character just cut my hand, well, if I cut too deep, I could literally lose the ability to use my wrist. People in movies who cut in their wrists are stupid. Just cut like around your belly. And now this is the most dreadful part of the game, the stairs. It takes old man here longer than Biden if he would go up every single one of them. While they walk up here, let me talk about the sponsor of this video, Raid Shad. I'm just joking. No one's gonna sponsor this stupid video. Oh, they'll find it here. Dolphin and Old Man say that there was a shout that is used to call a dragon to land on the ground, and there was only one place to learn it. Old Man College. Or the Greybeards as they call it, but there's no difference, honestly. I tell them that I need to shout, but they don't want me to learn it as I was working with the Blades. Like, dude, you know Alduin is out there. Why is he against me trying to fulfill my destiny? These old men make sense less every second. Next thing I found out, their dragon is a master. Oh, wait. It really is. Well, this is kind of awkward, isn't it? Especially since he doesn't even know to shout. It's on an Elder Scroll, no one knows where it could be, just on this mortal plane. Elder Scrolls lore confuses me. Like, isn't every plane considered mortal since you could die on it? Well, I just ask around where it could be, and some dude above Winterhold might know where it is. He just lives in this iceberg. I have no idea why. Now I just go to him and ask where he could be, and he says, and it's in this cave, so I just head there. Well, it's not really a cave, it's like a Dwemer ruin. Dwemer? I don't even know how to pronounce it. No one really cares anyways, these places suck. The enemies here are just really strong, and I can't even kill them because if I did, I'd just be stuck with my fist. So I just do what any sane person would do and run past them. Then I get the black reach. Ugh. I just get shivers when I say that place. It looks so beautiful, but it is annoying to be in. Didn't want to be in here long since this thing has full of those dwarven robotic stuff. These things are fast, hit hard, and like I said, if I kill them, I'd be left with a fish. Why did I write fish in my script? I meant fist. Instead of suffering, I sprint past through everything and just get to the puzzle. I put it in this box thing. I don't know really what this thing is, but I just press random buttons, and the box opened. Oh no. Please don't tell me it's.
The box. You opened it. I came.
After leaving the dungeon, I just quickly run to Whiterun, cause, well, that's the closest place. I rest up and then take a cart to Riften. Once I get to Riften, I buy a horse because I am not walking up that mountain again. It is treacherous. I just get up to the mountain, and this is a major problem once I actually get up to where the dragon was. I am in a soft lock. The dragon wants me to read the Elder Scroll. And the problem is that the game does not consider it a cutscene. And since it's not considered a cutscene, I continue to take cold damage. Only like get cold, but anyways, when I get out of reading the Elder Scroll, I die. It is bad. I am pretty much in a soft lock. There is no way for me to heat up. I don't have any torches. The food won't even help. The only option for me was to turn off survival mode for the cutscene, so I could get through it. Once the reset happens, I open the Elder Scroll and actually watch what happens. And the thing is, Alduin never died. He was sent to the future from these three old people's time to our present time. So I just learned to shout and can force him to fight. But as soon as the scroll was closed, he arrived at the top of the mountain. Been worried about this fight for a while, and yeah, it makes sense. That is not a lot of damage. My food isn't mostly just good stuff, it's just vegetables. This couldn't be worse, and survival mode is turned on again to make it hard. The longer the fight goes, the less HP I will have. It's gonna be a rough fight, so I just literally standed here in this corner with vegetable soup and healed, and attacked whenever he landed. It actually ended up working somehow, but it took forever. Next part, though, is the part everyone hates, the dreaded meeting. Instead of putting myself through torture the rest of the run, I just turn it off. because we won't really be dealing with any more cold in the run, and it's just gonna be up and down the mountain. Now, before the meeting though, I'm gonna tell the Jarl that we need to trap a dragon of Whiterun. But apparently he doesn't want that because it will leave the city vulnerable. So I end up traveling all the way to that one city with the other Jarl, tell him, and we form a meeting. Nothing eventful happens in this meeting. I don't know why they make me sit through this. Just
The
watch.
Imperial delegation. You can't dictate who I bring to this council.
It's like 10 minutes of this. Nothing uneventful happens. I pretty much just slam my cup and just watch random YouTube videos on my phone till it's over. Finally, it's over though. Once it was over, I go down to Whiterun and we get ready to trap a dragon. I ready my shout once I get to the balcony and call the dragon down. Immediately, he pretty much comes over, swoops up, picks up a guard, and lands to attack me. I lure him back in more to the door and they trap him in. I tell him, yo, dude, we need to get the Salmon Guard because that's where Alduin is. And he tries to take me, but the thing is, I am not dead. But there is a way. There's a portal in some dungeon. So I just try to go there, but he has to fly me there because it's up on these mountains. So I had to quickly watch all the How to Train Your Dragon to see how to ride one. Pretty fun, but I didn't really care. It goes along smoothly, and I get to the dungeon. I literally just run through this entire dungeon because I wanted to get it over with. Until I arrived at one part. The Draugr with the Claw. This Draugr is a more than just a restless Draugr. This thing takes a beating. Ugh, I hate it here, but luckily, he actually went down in the first try because of all the food I ate. Solved the puzzle, opened the door, and ran into the portal immediately. And let's just have a second. I love the music and atmosphere here. It's just so beautiful. I could literally just sit here for hours, but we have a dragon to kill. Before we can get this, a strong man comes to me and says, in order to cross the bridge of death, one must answer me these questions. The air the yellow side he see. Yeah, and he just asked me what kind of swallow is the fastest, and I just say a Daggerfall Skyrim swallow, and he gets confused and just lets me in. Totally what actually happened and didn't just make that up. Now after crossing the bridge, I steal more food inside Sovngarde because, well, I need food. Once no more food remains, we talk to these people and head outside. Luckily, I stole more food and got a better weapon though, and had backup. This fight doesn't go too badly, honestly. I call him down after clearing the clouds and kill him pretty quickly. Now that is over, I land the final blow and the video's over. Bye. Nah, I'm just kidding. Thank you to all you for actually who stuck around and watched the full video. You're the real one. My next challenge video is going to be Elder Scrolls Arena, but I play till whenever I feel like I'm done. I might do the full game, I may not, just however it feels like. If this gets 0 likes, by the way, I will do the DLCs eventually. Soon I'll just make funny moments of this run, if you guys want to. I don't really know, I'm just too lazy most of the time. See ya, have a great day.